Alright, I just reacted to Ali Sheehan's High School Musical All Songs tier list, and I figured I'd make my own. And we're going to go through it as they have it ordered in the songs in which they appear in the films. Start with Start of Something New. To me, this is clearly F tier. The characters don't know each other at this point. So the first High School Musical is just the Disney version of basically a rip-off of the movie Grease. But obviously Disneyified to all heck. Starting with, instead of where Danny and Sandy in Grease spent the summer hooking up, in High School Musical, Troy and Gabriella did karaoke. Reluctantly did karaoke. Randomly did a duet karaokeing each other. Said, hey, I'm Troy. I'm Gabriella. Nice to meet you. Oh, we'll see ya. Then they just happen to, through random chance, Gabriella ends up going to his high school, like sort of transferring, moving or whatever, and ends up going to his high school. They reconnect, yada yada. Troy's into basketball, and he slowly gets into being a part of this musical thing. So yeah, I don't know, just started something new. They just don't know each other. There's just no stakes. There's nothing to latch onto, nothing to care about, because these characters don't even know each other. They don't care. They don't care within the context of the story. And like your mind naturally, well, not naturally, but like think about how epic it is in Grease, the song Summer Nights, where they're talking about, summer loving, having a blast. Summer loving happened so fast, man. It's such a like iconic, legendary musical moment. So like this is just nothing in comparison to that, right? There's nothing like relatable in any way to like actually anything to do with a romance. Get your head in the game. Iconic, right? Like, usually if someone's gonna quote the anything to do with High School Musical overall, it's probably this song or something from this song. So I think you have to at least put it in A tier. Anything lower than that's insane. What I've been looking for, pretty solid like introduction to Sharpay and Ryan. Just a quality. It's totally fine. What I've been looking for, probably about equal when Troy and Gabriella sing it. Stick to the status quo. Absolute S tier. No question about it. Like, there's no denying it. It's epic. It's huge, like just in scale, production value, like the choreography, just epic. To me it's the most representative of the overall story, which is, like I said, you have Troy, Zac Efron's character, who is unsure of whether or not he should be like in a musical. He should be like singing and dancing, because he's like this star basketball player. He's already got like a future mapped out for him, right? And so and stick to the status quo when the other characters are pointing this out to him and to his love interest, Gabriella, who is like super nerdy. She's like a math lead or whatever, part of the science team. Her group of friends is also telling her like, hey, you shouldn't be doing this musical stuff either, because you're a giga nerd. You're screwing up your future, right? And that, stick to the status quo. It represents that, and it does a damn good job doing it, as you have all these different like cliques, and it's just, it's musical fun. It's great. It's phenomenal. Probably, to me, it's got like the best choreography of any of the songs in High School Musical, because it like ties in so much with the story. It's such a like visual representation of the key story elements of all three films. Bop to the top. It's goofy. It's fun. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm thinking maybe C tier. Like it doesn't. There's other funner Sharpay and Ryan songs. Um, I don't know. I feel like what I've been looking for is just a better song. It just like sounds better and um, ties in with the story a bit more. Like Bop to the Top is just kind of, to me, it's just kind of there. And I feel like if I was going to change things, right? If I could wave a magic wand or, be involved, go in a time machine, and I'm still like, suddenly heavily involved with the productions, and I can just make people do other stuff than what the end product of the movie is, I would probably change that to something a bit better, honestly. Um, Breaking Free. It's okay. It's not as like painful as Start of Something New, but it's kind of like you still don't really like buy into the romance all that much, so it's just kind of not. I don't know. It like it works just fine. I feel like I'd put it in B tier. Like it's okay. I like barely even remember it, but it's like, all right, they finally decide to be in the musical. We're all in this together. Also kind of like iconic, but it's not Get Your Head in the Game, right? It's just not to that level. It's not as good of a song. It's not like the sort of almost like anthem of the entire franchise in the way that I feel like Get Your Head in the Game is. It's just kind of like it's a happy song, right? So like I appreciate it for what it is, but at the same time, like it could be, not that I could like change it or could see how you could like improve it easily, but like it serves its purpose for sure. It's just not, it just doesn't like stand out in any kind of way. And I feel the same way about Breaking Free, right? Like it serves its purpose, and it serves its purpose just fine. It just doesn't do anything to like elevate it higher than that. What time is it? It's Summertime, right? To me, this song is crazy good. It's absurdly good. It starts. It's how High School Musical 2 starts, right? Like it's all in it together. Wraps up the first movie. What time is it? Starts the second one, and it kicks it off with a bang, with a crazy bang, right? Like you start, and the kids are there. It's the last day of school. Summer's about to start, and they look at the clock and they go, "Summer, summer, summer," right? And this song kicks it off in epic fashion. It's so much fun. It's so like relatable. It like brings you back to that time in your life of being a kid or even being a teenager, and you're like, yes, enough of this school crap. Summer break is here. It's upon us. Who gives a crap about this school stuff? We're gonna have fun. It's not like we all broke out in song and dance, but like inside, that's what you felt, right? Inside, you felt like those good feelings, right? Like if you had the ability to break out in song and dance, you probably would at that time in your life, and it brings you right back to that feeling, and it's just high energy. Kicks off the movie with such like a positive, good vibe. It's freaking awesome. It's more. The thing is, it's a perfect representation of the movie, in a sense, right? Because overall, the second movie is basically a rehash of the first movie. You have Sharpay. She wants to get in between Troy and Gabriella and take Troy away from Gabriella. But this time they're doing it in the summertime. That's what time it is. It's summertime, man. It's our vacation. So it doesn't, like, to me, stick to the status quo more so represents the entire franchise, all three movies, whereas what time is it is like probably better in terms of like it's more fun, but stick to the status quo, like it's just too tied into everything. So to me these are almost interchangeable. Like I'm genuinely in my mind right now going back and forth between, is stick to the status quo better than what time is it, or is what time is it better than stick to the status quo? It's very hard to determine that, but these are like, those two are basically the same level. Now, that being said, this is a musical. This franchise is a musical. And what are musicals? They're over the top, they're dramatic, they're fun, right? And stick to the status quo and what time it is definitely represent that. They definitely have that spirit in spades, especially what time is it. But Fabulous is fabulous. It has, although it's just absurdity, it is goofiness. That is what people like about musicals. That is what every musical is, right? Like, everyone loves Willy Wonka. Why does everyone love Willy Wonka, though? It's because it's crazy. Because it's, like, beautiful to look at. Because it's wild. It's wilder. In Fabulous, it's fabulous. It's over the top. The choreography's cool. It's just one of the most visually appealing songs across the entire franchise. And it's just goofy fun, which is also, I feel like, very representative of High School Musical too, and musicals in general, and kind of film in general, right? It's all fiction. People kind of forget that. All of this, film, TV, plays, musicals, all of entertainment, storytelling, well, not all storytelling, there's stuff like documentaries and, biographies and stuff, but all like fictional storytelling. It's fun. Fun is at the core of all of this. And I feel like sometimes that gets a little overlooked. So, work this out. Tons of fun. Awesome. I think I am probably putting it right around Get Your Head in the Game. Probably above it. Right? Like, Get Your Head in the Game. Iconic, legendary song. But it's also kind of like very basic. Right? Like, the budget is really showing itself in that. In terms of like, it just so serves its purpose. Like, it's nice and everything. I like it, but it doesn't. It's nothing. It's so like uninspired. is its problem, right? If you see it, you'll kind of like see what I mean. You can almost tell from that image of it. It's just, they're just in basketball uniforms. It's just a basketball practice at its core. And it doesn't do like anything to be anything beyond that. Work This Out, though, it's just very entertaining, dramatic, but in like a funny, toned down way. There's just them complaining about their jobs, their various jobs. It's dumb, it's funny. You Are the Music in Me works really well as one of the romantic songs. Like, really nice lyrics. I'll probably put it B tier above We're All in This Together. I feel like it does a little bit more than Get the Job Done. Alright. Humu Nuka. I can't pronounce this one. um, but to me, this is like an underrated one. A lot of people chirp this song. They don't like it. It's it's very dumb. Like, it's one of the dumbest songs in a musical. Like, they definitely lean too far to just like the raw stupidity and goofiness. And it's like, it's unnecessary. Like, that's a criticism that a lot of people have about High School Musical 2, is that it's just the plot of the first one done again, and you could completely remove it. You could just have High School Musical 1 and 3 and cut out the middleman, and it would just, like, it wouldn't really change anything. Which, like, kind of fair, but just because it's filler, like, filler's often the best part, right? Like, think about in Dragon Ball Z when Boo just lives in a house with Hercule. That's awesome. When Piccolo and Goku decide to get driver's licenses even though they can fly, why would they get driver's licenses? Like, the filler is often the very best part, and High School Musical 2 is the best movie in the franchise. But this kind of, it's bop to the top, but with, like, costumes. That's really what it is. And, like, more energy. Ooh, I Don't Dance. I Don't Dance is definitely S tier. It is very fun. Very simplistic. Much like Work This Out. Like, I feel like these two are very similar. But I feel like I Don't Dance is just so... It's just such this, like, fun, weird baseball, like... Like, Corbin Blue's character's just on a baseball team out of nowhere just for this song, and, like, you don't know why or how, but he doesn't dance. But he does dance. He tells you through song and dance that he doesn't dance. It's so much more fun of a song than it ought to be. Like, they just, for lack of a better phrase, they knock it out of the park. Or hit it out of the park, more fittingly. So, I think low S tier is where it truly belongs. It is more entertaining than it ought to be. You Are the Music in Me, but this time with Sharpay and Troy. Really, it kind of works, right? Like, Sharpay's character, I really started to like her character by the end of this movie because, like, she's moving in on Troy and causing trouble. Well, really by, like, Fabulous. I'm like, man, Sharpay is awesome. Like, she's just... she's just into what she's into. She's the villain. She's, you know, kind of a product of her environment. That's kind of like her story in High School Musical 2, is that she's a spoiled rich girl who fights really hard to get what she wants, but, like, there's kind of a sweetness in that. Like, there's kind of a genuineness that she really likes Troy. She's willing to go above and beyond and do, like, kind of some shady stuff to try to get him. And she sets him up with, like, a college, like, basketball team. Like, she is helping him in all kinds of ways. And even with her, like, she believes that she is this, like, star performer, and her working with him, even in that, is still, like, her, like, supporting his pursuit, or, like, yeah, like, something that he wants to do as well, right? Like, she also wants to perform with him to elevate her stardom, but that effect would also be in reverse, right? So, yeah, I don't know. I would put this maybe just below We're All in This Together. But it almost works as well as when like Troy and Gabriella sing it. Gotta Go My Own Way, quite good. One of the best of the like romantic songs. Although it's like them breaking up, it's there's kind of like a sweetness, right? Like you kind of like you don't care enough about the characters, and it's a Disney musical. You know they're gonna get back together, so there's no like real stakes in them breaking up. You know, like you know by the end of the movie they're going to get back together. So it's really just like there's just the like cuteness of them breaking up, believe it or not. So I would put this just below Get Your Head in the Game. It's a sweet song. All right, bet on it. Top of S, no question. Insane. This song is insane. It is so good. Like by itself, it functions as a very funny music video. Like you probably want the context of it, right? Like, but it's so awesome. It is so awesome, man. Like him and Gabriella broke up, so he's all angsty. He still is unsure about his future, if he wants to be, you know, somebody who does musicals or somebody who plays basketball. He now he's like broken up with his girlfriend. He's angry. He's frustrated. He's lost, and he expresses that through song and dance, and it is awesome. It's awesome. Like it. He literally is like sprinting around this golf course. He stops and looks at his reflection in a puddle and slaps his reflection across the face. It is over the top, but in a very entertaining and awesome way. To me, it's the best song of the franchise. No question. No question. If you don't consider this like in S tier, you're out of your freaking mind. Now, Every Day, it's okay. Like, I'd say bottom of B tier so far. Maybe I'll move that so far. Of any of these that I've placed, I would consider it moving it the most because I'm very unsure about it. It's just kind of like, hey, you know, I'm back. We're back together. Let's like sing, and I guess it serves its purpose enough, like a little bit. Actually, I'll put it below Breaking Free, I guess. Like it's actually it really does nothing. It does nothing for anyone. All for One. Now, All for One, it just kind of like ends the second movie. It's not as good as like Fabulous, and I feel like it would be really great if they made it like better than Fabulous. It would really like bookend the movie in an awesome way. So I think I gotta put it like mid, bottom of B tier. It's okay, I guess. Man, I hate these ads. They really stop you from like presenting things as well as you could. Now or Never. So now we're on to High School Musical 3 with Now or Never. It's alright. Like it gets the job done, so I'll put it above All for One. Right here, right now. It's cute. It's a cute little song. Gets the point across. They're in love. I Want It All. Again, it just kind of like serves its purpose and it's okay. But I'll put it maybe like below Breaking Free, because it's just like another Sharpay song. It doesn't really, it just kind of says like, all right, well, here I am. This is where my character's at. Can I have this dance? Probably going in S tier. So far, the only like really romantic song, like even though Bet on It is Troy, like his frustration is a lot to do with his breakup. It's kind of really like nothing. No. But Can I Have This Dance specifically because of the production of the song and dance. You know, they're on the rooftop, it starts raining, but the like really simplistic choreography of just like two people dancing, they're dating each other, and the fact that the actors were like had been dating each other in real life, like they're actually people who are actually in love, and you kind of like feel that watching the movie at this point, watching this song unfold. It's really very sweet, like outrageously sweet. Like you really just like feel the like actual love that these people have for each other. In a way that's kind of like surprising, right? Like I think it really is the main reason that people who don't necessarily like the franchise, who have some of which who have been like forced through, you know, their partner or somebody being into the franchise and getting them to watch it with them, will say stuff like, you know, the third one's pretty good. The third one's actually a good movie. I think this, Can I Have This Dance, is mainly the reason why, because it's just, you know, in a way you can say it's like a really good performance, even though I'd say the performance comes down to the way that it's shot, the way that it's so simplistic that it's kind of almost feels like it's improvised, and maybe it is, I don't know, but the fact it's also like almost not a performance in a way. Like, yeah, they're singing and dancing, so there's that performance element, but the element of the performance is the fact that they're actually, like, the actors are actually dating and in love with each other, right? So it's like, and that it comes across on screen, right? So it's like it's a performance, but it's also not a performance in a way. It's just people who are actually a couple just having a romantic dance in the rain. Very like just very sweet. It's really quite good. Probably like the high point. Like I could see why it would be the high point of the franchise for so many people. To me, the real high point is Bet on It. But I can understand why for a lot of people Can I Have This Dance would be the high point, the real high point, even if they don't like see it that way. That's what it is. A Night to Remember, really cool. They have this like rotating set, like it's the hey, we're theater dorks song and dance. It's it just also kind of that like creativity in what they're doing, it like comes across. It's just like, hey, we're theater dorks and our characters are theater dorks. We're gonna do what theater dorks like what they would be doing, and it's cool. Like I think that's pretty cool. So I would put A Night to Remember as probably. I'm actually maybe going to change this. I'm going to put You Are the Music in Me. I'm going to put that above what I've been looking for. And maybe A Night to Remember A tier, but below what I've been looking for. Just Want to Be With You. Again, it's like a cutesy song, but I feel like it doesn't stand out within the cutesy songs between these two. it does its job, but it doesn't do anything more. That's really like the difference between B tier and C tier for me is, does it do its job? Could it, should it have done a better job? Is C tier and F tier. The boys are back. You know, it's Zac Efron and Corbin Bleu jumping around a junkyard. It's goofy fun. It's nothing more than goofy fun. It's okay. Right here, right now. It's also just kind of like okay. Like, I'll just put it next to the, you know, earlier part. It's like the point of the song both times is like, we're living here in the moment, but we're graduating high school, so like, are we gonna separate? Are we going to the same college? Who knows? This kind of sucks. We're enjoying the now. Should we break up? You know, walk away. F tier. It's so bland. It's just so lazily done, honestly. Like, I feel bad to say that because it's like, well, I don't know, I haven't made a music video, so, but you know, it's better than any music video I've ever made, but it just kind of stands out as like not standing out. At least you like know the character, so you can like kind of relate to what her character is going through, but ultimately it's just like so blandly executed, and it would have been so elevated by having other characters kind of play to it, right? Like, be a part of it. Right? I feel like there's a problem with these songs where it's just Gabriella, where it just doesn't work, right? Just like When There Was Me and You also doesn't work. Like, it's also F tier. I think it's better than Walk Away, but the problem is that it's just, I feel like because this franchise is inspired by the film Grease, they feel like they want to take their shot at replicating Hopelessly Devoted to You. And it's never, they just miss the mark repeatedly. That sucks, but it is what it is. It's F tier. It doesn't work. Doesn't work at all. Now, Scream, you have Efron. This is just a ripoff of Bet On It, right? Bet On It in High School Musical 2 has Zac Efron being intense. Scream in High School Musical 3 has Zac Efron being all intense by himself, running around. But, like, the choreography in Bet On It's better. The intensity is so much more there. The performance is better. In Scream, you have these weird CGI effects of, like, lighting. Like, there's these, like, lightning strikes coming from outside the window. He's, for some reason, going around this, like, impossibly dark lit high school at night. There's weird CGI basketballs. Like, even though High School Musical 3 was the only one that got a theatrical release of the three movies, and it definitely got an increase in budget that's quite noticeable to where it even has CGI. The CGI, even at the time, was like not good. So you have these, like, all these terrible CGI basketballs bouncing, and it's like, even in the context of what I'm seeing, like, even if these basketballs were real, why would they be there? Like, I mean, it's fine because it's a musical, but the fact that they're CG and they look horrible, even in a darkly lit gymnasium, where, like, it would be easier to make them look a lot more realistic than they do, considering it's like, you know, it's not bright and right up in your face. The darkness can kind of hide it. they needed to hide more of it. They needed to have more of the darkness. You know, considering you have these basketballs bouncing in the darkness, like as the like background in like a wide shot of a gymnasium, right? Like it's all in a green screen, but like have these basketballs that are bouncing around Zac Efron be like so dark lit that they're just like almost invisible is what they should have done. Make it so it's like literally just black balls bouncing in extreme like dark gray, like a very very dark gray, and then have just Efron lit up in the middle in your fake basketball court. But yeah, just like the intensity of the stakes aren't there like they're there in Bet on It. In Bet on It, he's going through the same thing where it's like, I don't even know what I want to do with my future. I don't even know what's going on. But then he also like broke up with Gabriella, whereas you don't buy it. Like the stakes just aren't there in the same way in Scream, right? Like it just doesn't work on any level. It is wildly inferior to Bet on It. It just makes you want to listen to Bet on It. That being said, it's not like the worst thing, right? Like, at least it's ripping off the very best thing in High School Musical. So I'd probably put it maybe like right above Every Day. Can I Have This Dance? Reprise. The first time is just epic. So this is just not as good. Just for a lack of like, I'll put it like high C tier, I guess. Senior Spring Musical. Probably right around The Boys Are Back. Like, it's alright. Just Want to Be With You. Reprise. It's okay. Like, you know. We're All in This Together. Graduation Mix. It's like, it's just not the iconic We're All in This Together is its problem. Like, it's perfectly fine and it serves its purpose, but it doesn't do anything beyond that. So I definitely got to rate it lower than We're All in This Together from High School Musical 1, because that's the iconic one, right? This is just you're just repeating it and mixing it up a little bit, and that's okay, but it's nothing special. Like, it's, you know, it's nice. High School Musical, the last song, it serves its purpose, you know, it finishes the story, nice little ending. It's cool, you know. It's, I guess this graduation mix and this, I guess they do a little bit more than serve their purpose, because they also do a good job at it. So, to be fair, I'll actually put them better than Right Here, Right Now. And in this order specifically. Just Getting Started, I think that's like during the credits. So I'm not even familiar with it. So I'm just not going to like place it if I haven't even consumed it. So we'll take a look at F tier. These songs just, Ugh, horrible, horrible. Especially Start of Something New. Like, I think, does that one have a reprise, right? Start of Something New reprise. Because doesn't that song come up again, like later on in the movie? Maybe I'm wrong, but yeah, it just, I feel like that comes up at a different point in the movie. It's been a while, right? Like, I am not the biggest fan of this franchise. I've seen the first one, like when it first came out on like DVD. My sister made me watch it. Then the second one, she also kind of like made me watch it too. And I didn't, like, I thought the first one was okay, but I had no, like, actual interest in watching the second one, so I watched the second one, and it knocks my socks off. I'm like, this is everything that is good about musicals. This is over the top, which, like, the first one has all those musical elements of being over the top, overly dramatic, and that's fine, and it works just fine. But, like, the second one, it just ramped up, and I really enjoyed that, right? Like, you have this craziness of, like, what time is it? I don't dance. Fabulous. Bet on it. Right? Like, four songs from High School Musical 2 made it in my S tier, right? So, like, it really really made an impact on like the franchise for me. I'm like, all right, this is actually something that's quite enjoyable, right? Like, these characters can be interesting, which is fair, right? Because oftentimes, so many times, like, the second season of a TV show is the best season because you actually, like, the characters and story have had time to develop, so then you start to actually kind of, like, care a little bit about what's going on, or, like, you go into it caring a little bit about what's going on and who the things are happening to, right? So I feel like that impact is definitely should be noticeable in High School Musical 2 to anybody who watches it. And there's just, like, these awesomely well done things, right? Like, the choreography, the fun is infectious, right? Like, you can just feel the fun that these people are having. And to me, like, Stick to the Status Quo from the first movie is one of the best produced songs, right? You have this cool set, these cool shots, cool ideas. It, like, is super. It sort of ties the story of the entire franchise together. Really cool. And then those elements just show their face so much more often in High School Musical 2. So then I saw the first one, saw the second one, the third one came out. I probably watched the second one like twice. Then the third one comes out and it actually gets a theatrical release. So I go to see that movie, and that was an experience of a lifetime. Packed house, mostly girls, right? Like, I was in high school at the time. Mostly just, like, high school girls and probably girls who are younger, but I was looking around for other dudes. Like, I went there with my sister. She wanted to see it, and I wanted to see it too. So I liked the second one. Why wouldn't I like the third one? It's getting a theatrical release? Hell yeah. So then I'm looking around, and I'm like, is there other dudes in this audience? Like, this is sold out. Opening night. Like, just the energy of the crowd was crazy. And they cheered when there was some kind of High School Musical thing in the previews, and people were cheering. So as soon as the, like, sound lowered in the theater, I yell out as loud as I can, "What team?" And a crowd full of people. I don't know what the capacity of this movie theater screen was, but almost all of them yell out in response, "Wildcats," like, in unison. It was crazy. It was so, like bizarrely epic. I'm like, holy, that was, like, really cool. Like, commanding a crowd like that just from shouting something. It felt really cool. But yeah, and then I've probably, like, rewatched the series a couple times, like, not a couple times, but, like, one more time, right? Like, I've probably watched first one twice, first one twice, second one like 5 times, third one twice. So it's honestly been quite a long time since I've watched this series. But yeah, it's solid, and I like to argue against people who trash talk the second one, because I feel like their criticisms are so invalid, right? Like, oh, it's over the top, it's unnecessary. What do you mean it's unnecessary? It's fiction. What do you mean it's over the top? That's what's great about musicals, right? That's like saying like, oh, like really this cowardly lion is just way too cowardly. This scarecrow is too much of a goofball. You know, it's like really the Tin Man is that metallic? No way. They gotta grease him? That's crazy. That witch is that wicked? Pfft, ridiculous. Not realistic at all. Like, okay. What are you talking about? This is a musical. This is a film and it's a musical. It's fun, it's goofy, it's lighthearted. Especially one that's like done by Disney, right? Like just because the target audience of this is like 10-year-old girls, that doesn't mean it's not like enjoyable, that there's nothing enjoyable, right? Because this is a musical, so it's going to be, you're going to have layers of non-reality. A film, any piece of fiction, there's going to be like levels of unrealistic stuff, just in general, stuff that's not even musicals. So then you add the musical element, so there's additional layers of not real stuff, because people don't typically in real life just break out in song and dance and express themselves through song and dance. That doesn't really happen, right? And especially something where it's like a Disney product that's for like 10-year-olds. So this isn't realistic to anyone's high school experience, but there are certain things that are realistic to those high school experiences that are relatable, right? Such as being in a relationship, navigating dating, being excited for summer. Like, were you not probably, more excited for summer when you were a teenager going through school than you were a little kid? Because you're like, holy crap, like school is torture. You more like think about how terrible school is. And I'm somebody who likes school. Like, I'm somebody who's got like 7 high school math credits and like went to college for 4 years. And like there's tons of stuff for people to like, and think about watching any kids movie, right? Like Shrek 5 is coming out, or they're making it or something, and people are mad that Shrek doesn't, like, that the animation isn't identical to what it was like 20 plus years ago. That's how much people care. Like, adults, grown-ass adults, care about a kids film. The 5th of the main series of a kids film franchise that extends beyond just the main films, right? So this idea that like that it's unreasonable to be a fan of something that isn't necessarily made for you. It's like, have you ever seen Toy Story? Right? Like, there's stuff in Toy Story that a child wouldn't even begin to be able to like process what that's even actually about. So yeah, High School Musical was made for like 10-year-olds who don't really, it's a fantastical look at high school, but there's still some stuff in there that a 10-year-old wouldn't even begin to understand, right? Like, just like I was saying, how Can I Have This Dance? You have characters who are in love, played by actors who are actually dating and in love with each other. A kid isn't going to enjoy Can I Have This Dance? But adults who have viewed High School Musical 3, who have watched the series, and they say, High School Musical 3, that's actually a good movie. Like, that's actually quite good. Maybe I didn't like the first 2, but that third one, man, that's actually pretty good. That is a main reason as to why. So, but people like trash talk the second one like crazy. It's like, man, the second one's the most fun. You can't. I could say, cut out the first movie and just have the second one and third one, and that would actually be a better overall product than if you only had the first and the third. But yeah, you'd be out of your mind. You'd be out in outer space if you don't have bet on it. S tier, pure lunacy. Pure lunacy.